This whole thing is spreading. Let's talk about the stepmom.
Oh yeah, dude.
So we got another article here.
Do you want to read this one?
Yeah, sure. Here.
Pull it up?
Yeah, pull it up.
Sweet.
Stepmother of the Atlanta cop charged with shooting Rayshard Brooks is fired for her job as a mortgage company's HR director because of employees creating a hostile working environment. So her employees are creating the hostile work environment? Let's read about it.
You know what I think she did?
What?
I think she defended her son.
Yeah,
Stepson.
probably.
And they were like, "How dare you?
How dare you
Yep,
defend your son?"
That would make sense to me.
Yeah.
That would be controversial.
Let's see what's up.
Let's see. Garrett Rolfe's stepmother, Melissa Rolfe, had her employment at the Atlanta-based Equity Prime Mortgage terminated this week. The company said Melissa, an HR director, had violated company policy and created an uncomfortable and hostile working environment. They said the violations came as Melissa was transitioning to a leave of absence granted by the firm. It is not clear what Melissa said or did to warrant her firing. Melissa apparently wrote to Georgia congressional candidate Marjorie Taylor Greene, calling what is happening to her stepson nonsense. News of Melissa's firing came just hours after Rolfe was taken into custody after being charged with felony murder over Brooks' death over a week ago.
The sins of the father. This is what they do in authoritarian and communist.
Freedom of speech is dying right in front of our eyes.
It's dead. Come on.
It's not dead.
It's on life support.
We're still here right now.
Yep.
This would have been shut off if it was dead. People don't want us talking like this.
No, I think freedom of speech has.
It's dying. It's
No,
it's not dead yet.
I think it is dead.
Okay.
Can you say? Are there things you can say right now that would result in this video being taken down?
Yep.
I mean, we've talked about social media. We talked about it. We can't say certain words, and you're like, I don't say those words.
You can't say someone's name.
So you know, it's not bending the knee, but it's tilting slightly towards YouTube. It's the same thing.
So
you know,
there's
what's the difference?
In my circumstance, there's not much I could say that would get me banned, because my opinions are rather moderate.
Okay.
There are opinions you can have that you would be banned for instantly.
And yet there's words you can say.
You can't insult veterans on YouTube.
Really?
You can't insult veterans.
Huh.
Yep.
What do you mean? How do you mean? Like insult them?
You can't. The same. It's hate speech.
Like call them a name?
Yeah. Or you know, if you were to say something negative about veterans, YouTube will strike your channel.
Wow.
You can't criticize someone for their immigration status.
Okay.
There's no free speech. Free speech would be now we recognize under the Supreme Court there are limits to speech, and I believe it's fair to say, like, telling someone to go do something and then they go like commit a crime.
Incitement. Yeah.
Incitement is a limit. Expressing your political beliefs, no matter how detestable, is free speech.
Yeah.
YouTube doesn't allow that. So if I'll put it this way, if free speech is a range of opinions from -10 to +10, and you're only allowed -10 to +2, it's not free speech.
That's true.
An entire quadrant has been purged from YouTube.
Someone in the comments said it's on life support.
Yes. Yeah.
That's pretty accurate. You know?
It's kind of like you know, where it's a scene from Star Wars where the room's closing in and crush them, and we're like, no.
The trash
Walls are
compactor.
And right now we've got the beam like stopping it from crushing us for the time being.
We just need R2D2 to turn it off.
Yeah.
But we don't have an R2D2.
R2D2, where
Please
are you?
help us.
Somebody turn the trash compactor off.
Please.
It's not so much about free speech in this story. Even I think the free speech we're granted right now is I think free speech is completely dead. And what's happening is YouTube allows us to do this to make sure there's not an overreaction when they go for the final crushing blow against freedom.
Right, because
Not just Google.
they don't want the majority of people that still believe it exists to find out that it doesn't exist anymore, because they'll be like, oh, no.
And so what they do is
slowly but surely.
It's a story I've told about eBay, how they changed from yellow to white.
Exactly.
Everybody got really angry. So then what they did was every day they added one more shade closer to white, and the background over 1 year turned from yellow to white without anyone realizing it because it was so slow and gradual. That's what they need to be careful of.
Yep.
So when Google banned The Federalist the other day, so basically, for those who aren't familiar, NBC News contacted Google and said, look at these offensive articles from The Federalist. Google then issued a statement to them saying, we have banned The Federalist, a mainstream conservative website.
Yep.
That was a red line. And all of a sudden, the entire internet was lighting up. It was crazy. Trump Jr. was like, wheel them in. They've got to force them to testify. And then Google immediately backtracked. No. We didn't. We're talking about their comments, and they're not banned. They're rectifying the situation. So Google wanted to do it, and they realized they went a little too hard, causing a backlash.
Yep. They did 4 shades too soon.
Too dark,
Right.
Yeah.
Right now, Facebook has a new version, which you've seen the new Facebook version.
I can't stand it.
It's awful.
It's awful.
But they know that if they do it all at once, every single user will screech.
Yeah.
And then they'll have a problem. So what they do is they do pockets. They actually changed Facebook for me, and then a week later changed it back.
Really?
Yeah, it was weird.
I think I know why. I stopped using it.
I mean, I barely use Facebook myself.
Once it changed, it was just awful, and I'm like, I stopped using it, not on purpose, just because it wasn't convenient
No one
anymore.
uses it anymore.
And then one day I came back and it was normal.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa. So I wonder if they thought the same thing. Oops, too far, too much. Better calm down, better slow down. So that's what we're seeing right now with free speech.
Yep.
YouTube, Twitter, I think they want to ban all of this stuff. And the reason they haven't banned me yet from YouTube is because they don't want people freaking out just yet.
That's true.
So I don't know, man. If Trump wins re-election, will they finally just be like, okay, we'll wait another 4 years and try and win? It's crazy to me that they're willing to blow everything up to try and stop Trump from winning another 4 years when they could just wait 4 years and then run their candidate and try and win when Trump can't run for re-election.
That's a good point.
But they're insane. So yeah, I do think that
Yes, they are.
it's only a matter of time. Look, if these companies are going to fire the family members of people involved in these stories,
Yep.
I think we're well past the point where speech is an issue. I think to them, they're like, Tim Pool is acceptable. He's the, like I was saying, the -2 to +10.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tim Pool's a 0 for the most part. Maybe a +1 because he rags on the Democrats so much. But he's nowhere near conservative like these other people.
Yeah.
Like when I was on Crowder's show the other day, like Crowder's much more opinionated and forceful on his view.
Totally is.
Yeah, not like I'm not. And
But
so
they
it's-
already demonetized him, didn't they?
I think he's still demonetized for sure. I don't know his what's going on with his business, but they demonetized a ton of other people. We saw Luke and Ariel get stripped from the partner program.
True.
So they're getting rid of their undesirables, but they need to keep a few people. Otherwise, everyone would screech and panic. And then what they want to avoid is being hauled into the Senate hearings
Yep.
to testify, although it doesn't do anything.
Right.
So they're like, they know there's a line. For years, we have seen them continually push the line. Everything's getting worse, but it's never gotten so bad that they haul in these tech companies until they went after the Federalist. And that was a big mistake.
Yep.
They took it one step too far. And now they may actually get hauled in to testify.
They
and
better.
now the DOJ has released guidelines recently on what they have to do, what they should do, and how bills should be drafted to prevent censorship.
I hope so.
I feel like somebody was watching my video because one of the changes is that they would define objectionable content as unlawful. So what I've been saying about Section 230, which shields these big tech companies from liability, is that they should make it so that big tech companies, so long as they only remove content that's unlawful, then they're not liable for what is said. If they start removing, political opinions, they should not be protected. Like Facebook is literally publishing editorials.
Yep.
So when I logged into Facebook today, I got a big thing about the importance of Black Lives Matter.
Yep.
I saw that. Yeah.
That's a publisher. And so if they're the New York Times, sue them for what they publish. Now you can still argue we're in a comment section, so they still could be protected, but they should be placed in a different bracket. Facebook's actually argued legally that they are both a publisher and a platform before, and people don't realize that New York Times is a publisher, but their comment section they're not liable for. That's Section 230. So if Facebook and Instagram publish stuff, and they do. Like if you go to the search tab of Instagram, you will get a Black Lives Matter taking up, 30, 40% of your screen. That doesn't matter because the rest of the content is, it's comments. It's user-generated section.
Yep.
So they're going to get away with it. And maybe the DOJ changes will come through. I really don't think so. The
Yeah.
Republicans, has any Republican come up and stood on the floor yelling about the destruction of Thomas Jefferson and George Washington?
I don't know.
As the Democrats called to remove Jefferson from the city council chamber, has any politician said this is outrageous that they would try and remove one of our presidents?
No idea.
Think about how insane that is.
But the first thing I heard from France is what you just told me.
Oh,
Nope.
Yeah.
We're not getting rid of
Absolutely not.
anything.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good luck
that's
trying.
amazing.
It was like,
No compromise.
wow.
No
That-
compromise.
France said that.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like,
Those
Man.
cheese-eating surrender monkeys.
Right.
That's probably hate speech, to be honest.
no doubt.
Maybe.
But it's the French. Come on.
But no, that's a joke from, I think, Simpsons.
I think so too.
Yeah, it's a Simpsons joke. That's the funny thing about where we're at right now is I always wonder why it is that Therese Nielsen will be, this artist will be canceled because she followed somebody, but Seth MacFarlane is like heralded as this great,
Right.
liberal. It's like the dude still makes racist jokes
all the time.
all
Every
the time.
single episode of
It's like
Family
their bread
Guy.
and butter,
I mean, dude, Family Guy and American Dad.
Yeah.
American Dad's premise is very much like the U.S. war in the Middle East.
Right.
And it was supposed to be like making fun of the neocon family, I guess.
Well, it's okay if you're over in the left area because Seth MacFarlane is very much on the left. I follow him. He's outspoken.
Yep.
So.
And he does call out SJWs. He does.
Mhm.
Family Guy's got numerous jokes ragging on cancel culture.
Yeah.
But I feel like he doesn't do enough. And he avoids it probably because he likes being rich and he doesn't want to stick his neck out.
Yeah, maybe.
That's one of the curses of American individualism. There's no community bond anymore.
Absolutely true.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's no community.
They just toppled George Washington and Jefferson, and where are any of these people to be like, stop that?
I don't know.
I'll say it a million times,
Yeah.
but comedians.
Yeah.
I'd be willing to bet Joe Rogan would call it crazy.
Oh yeah.
Probably has.
Yeah. I wonder about Dave Chappelle, though. I wonder about, these bigger media companies definitely won't. Think about how insane that is. Jimmy Kimmel, right? He
No.
won't say anything.
No.
These
He'll get canceled.
Colbert won't say anything.
They'll come after him.
John Oliver won't say anything. Yep.
They're rich.
They're rich, and their jokes must be in line with what the outrage mob demands, and they'll cave in 2 seconds.
Yep.
So now you can have, in the United States of America, the flag being burned is one thing, but people throwing ropes over statues and destroying them is like, wow, we're really at this point.
Yeah, it's
And
messed
then
up.
what you see what happened in New Mexico when that guy shows up
Mhm.
with a gun, don't destroy our statues, and they attack him.
Yep.
They threaten his life. They beat him. He shoots the guy several times. They drop the charges.
Yep.
He may get charged again, but
Right.
it looks like the dude's holding a knife.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you, man, we had the guys in South Philly. It's only a matter of time before Americans say the law isn't. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if the police get abolished. You know why?
Why?
Why is it that South Philly residents had to defend that statue and the police didn't do it?
That's a
What are
good
the police
question.
for if they know they're coming to destroy public property and the cops are like, we're just going to stand back?
The police aren't being protected right now. They're being blamed. If you ask anybody,
maybe.
no, it's their fault. They started this, and it's like they. So all cops, every single one, wants to kill any minority. It's like, come on.
I'm talking about-
that is not the truth.
But statues. You'd think the cops could stand around a statue and stop it from being toppled, right?
You would think.
They're not even trying.
They're
When-
probably ordered to stand down. They're probably ordered to not go.
Exactly. So the issue then is,
Mm-hmm.
why would conservatives support the police that are enforcing unconstitutional orders with the lockdown, refusing to protect public property?
And isn't it all in democratic cities? So they're
Mostly, yeah.
down the chain of command. You got the mayor who's like, you're not going. I'm going to call the police chief. You guys are not going or you're gone. I'm out. You're gone if you don't follow what I'm saying right now. And it's like,
Quit then.
they are quitting.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they
the
are.
democratic cities.
Yep.
And it makes
Oh, you're gonna love
sense.
this.
Oh, what?
The surrounding jurisdictions of Atlanta have started posting.
Don't call us.
No.
What?
They started posting job openings.
Oh, really?
Weird.
Wow.
Why? I wonder.
It's like, hey, you need a job here. Like, yeah,
Yep.
the surrounding suburbs and
So
towns were like,
weird.
we'll take you.
Yeah,
You
we're
need the
hiring.
They
cops.
told me they were fine.
Wow.
Yeah, dude. Well, here's what I think's going to happen. These activists are announcing they're going to do it. And they show up and the cops don't do anything about it. For whatever reason. So how long until we get a bunch of armed guys like paramilitary or militia standing guard and guarding monuments and statues?
I
listen,
can't believe that we haven't seen it yet.
You want to have a
I'm shocked,
conversation about
honestly.
these dudes? Well, somewhat. You want to have a conversation about these dudes in South Philly with Christopher Columbus?
Mm-hmm.
I kind of roll my eyes. I'm like, I'm not a Columbus fan. Nah, he's
Yeah.
he's not a founding father. Listen,
Yeah, I agree.
America and the colonies are not the same thing as what the founding fathers represented. The colonies were European colonial, adventurism and things like this.
Yeah.
The founding fathers was an ideological shift about the equal rights of the individuals, the rights to self-governance. And it was a change away from the, like, dare I say, to use the language of these people, the founding fathers opposed the colonial mindset in a sense. They wanted people to be free and have their own space and mind their own business.
That's a good point.
The Gadsden flag is literally "Don't tread on me."
Yep.
Now, to be fair, we still had a bunch of lands being seized by Native Americans. It's not like these were these people didn't have their hypocrisy about them, but it was an ideological shift. So what happened before with people like Christopher Columbus and these other conquistadors and preachers before the colonies was a very, very different mindset. And mind you, hundreds of years.
Yeah.
Hundreds
of years.
1492 Christopher Columbus to 1776.
Yeah.
It's like, that's a long time, man.
It's a big difference.
Yeah, it's a seriously big difference. But anyway, here's the point. When I see people defending Christopher Columbus for all his faults, and he did not create this country, I think that's very, very interesting. Now they're toppling Jefferson and Washington. If these people came out to Philly, I'd imagine, and tried to go after icons of independence,
Yeah.
I'd imagine you might see some dead people.
I'm that's what I said weeks ago. I'm worried.
I know.
I'm worried about it because they're gonna finally meet Americans that are like, no, you're not treading on me.
So what happens then when we watch the politicians destroy our monuments in our own city hall? I don't live in New York anymore, but
well, New York is a mess. A democratic city run by Democrats.
Are there patriots in New York?
De Blasio is a joke.
He is a joke.
Well, Nancy Pelosi is having them take all the pictures of slave owners out of the historical hall in the White House, right?
You're technically correct. She's just having remove pictures of Democrats.
Yeah, I know that. I was going to throw that out next, but I mean, they're all slave owners and they're going.
Yeah, they were all Democrats.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
So that's the joke. She's like, Confederate pictures must be removed. And then the Republicans were like, so you're removing the Democrats.
Yeah,
and they are.
Yeah, they sure are. Yeah, sure are. All of them.
Newsflash, Democrats want us segregated.
But to be fair, the actual Democratic voters agree with it. Like, so when someone pointed out that I saw this post on Twitter, there's a big thread about it. Somebody posted, haha, so they're removing pictures of Democrats. The progressive Democrats were like, yes, they're admitting the mistakes and they're getting rid of it. Good for them. And I'm like, okay. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's funny they're Democrats getting rid of it.
I like the meme of, the video of them taking down, and then they show like the picture of the old white dude, whatever, and it's Nancy Pelosi's face on it. I was like, oh, that's good. I
didn't see that one.
It's a good meme.
Yeah.
It's really good.
I gotta look it up. I can't believe I missed a meme.
Carrying her away. I'm like, yes.
Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. We do the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. If you want to catch the full show, tune in to this channel, subscribe, hit the like button, or check us out on iTunes and Spotify, and we will soon have this podcast up for free on all podcast platforms. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all in the next episode.